from Lakey Loves, and I'm in Cranbourne Botanic Gardens today with Russell Lark. He's the team leader of horticulture, and he's been working on this amazing project, Raising Rarity. If you've missed part one, go back and see the intro, he tells you a little bit about it. So we're here with some of the beautiful plants today, and you're going to tell us all about the project.
I am. Thanks for having me back, Vanna. It was nice to have a chat last week. So Raising Rarity is a really cool project we're working on at the gardens at the moment. Really it's about primarily creating awareness of our threatened flora in Victoria specifically. So this is a project that's sort of been co-run with the Cranbourne horticulture team and also the seed scientists in Melbourne, so Dr. Meg Hurst. And really what it's about is looking at the horticultural potential of rare and threatened species and bringing them into cultivation. And along with that is a whole bunch of storytelling and trying to educate people about Victoria's flora and some of the beautiful floral hotspots in Victoria, and also give them an opportunity to take these plants home.
Fantastic. Yes, that's what you mean by cultivation. You can actually get these plants and they will grow so well in your garden because they're all Victorian plants.
Yeah, exactly. And look, we've got the Australian Garden here at Cranbourne. For anyone who hasn't seen it, you should come down and have a look. But we have this huge experiment going, so we bring a lot of things into cultivation. And we focus on a lot of rare and threatened species. A lot of that is wild collected, so we go out into the bush and help with things like bushfire recovery and the conservation genetics team and the seed scientists, and we also build kind of ex situ populations of these rare and threatened species. And within that work, we kind of identify, these little pretties that have horticultural potential.
And they are. I mean, look at this display. This would be amazing. I would love to have a display like this in my garden.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky. So we've got a whole bunch of species we're trialling, and some work, some don't. But that's kind of the joy of it as well. So we've got an area dedicated to the Raising Rarity species where we trial them horticulturally. We'll measure things like flowering and growth habit, and whether or not they're pest and disease resistant, all that sort of stuff. Everything you need for a nice horticultural plant.
I love all of the research that's going on in the background, and that you're sharing that with the public as well, so we can all get involved. If you haven't checked out the Raising Rarity, do jump on the FAM website. You can just Google Raising Rarity, and there will be links in the blog as well as in the copy below. So you're going to tell us about one of your favourite species in this selection, and that's your Grevillea dimorpha.
Very nice.
Right?
Yeah. So Grevillea dimorpha is an endemic species to the Grampians. So for anyone who really enjoys Victoria's wildflowers, you would have been to the Grampians, and for anyone who hasn't been there, you really should get out there. It's sort of referred to as the Garden of Victoria, so it's a real floral hotspot. So if you get out there in late winter and early September, you'll see the gifts that the Grampians has to give. So this plant actually kind of reminds me of the Grampians a lot, and it also gets me out of my winter blues. So this is a kind of a late winter flowering species, and spring's just around the corner when dimorpha comes out. So
it's just starting to take off as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's beautiful actually. So these are tiny little babies at the moment. We've just grown these up in the nursery. But Grevillea dimorpha means two forms, and you can sort of see here there's a narrow leaf form and a broader leaf form over here. So it's a bit of a misnomer. There's a whole bunch of different forms. So we're trialling probably 10 or 11 different forms just to see, look at their growth and flowering periods and all that sort of stuff. But it's a fantastic little plant, beautiful for your garden. So it prefers part shade, but it's actually been performing really well.
So actually do well in my garden because I've got quite part shade.
Yeah,
that's a bit hard for some natives.
They love it in the understory.
So what about soil? What kind of soil should they go into?
Oh, look, freely drained, and enough moisture over summer to get them through. But you don't need a lot. You probably need to do it once every fortnight, really.
That's the great thing about having natives as well. They're water efficient, so you're not using up too much water in your garden as well.
Definitely. Yeah. So we've actually got a garden dedicated to Grampian species at the Australian Garden. So there's a whole bunch of endemic Grampian species that are beautiful. It's a Grevillea hotspot as well, which is pretty cool for everyone who likes Grevilleas. So we're trialling a whole bunch of things. We've got some, aquifolium forms and that sort of stuff as well. So
I love all the different forms Grevillea takes. It's really it's really quite amazing on its own.
Yeah, it's one of my loves.
You can fill a garden with, and you've got to have a home garden at home with lots of Grevillea.
Yeah, probably 30 or 40.
Because he doesn't get enough to do here. He wants to do gardening at home as well.
I'm not well.
It's not green stuff, it's green body. It takes so much.
Yeah.
I love that. And we're going to take a look at the Grampian Garden later on and the
Yeah, we
research
are.
garden as well.
Yeah, we'll go for one later. So
Fantastic.
Look forward to showing you that.
So you've got a nice little bit of extra tidbits to tell us about this beautiful flower in this plant.
Yeah, it is it's one of my favourite grevilleas actually. So you can see by the bright red flowers why it gets its name, the flame grevillea. So these come out in the understory through the Grampians and they're absolutely spectacular. You can pick them up as you're driving along the road through the middle of the Grampians. They're really prolific, so when they're bigger, you can kind of imagine a shrub, to 2-3 metres covered in these flowers. The birds absolutely love them, and so do the people too. So yeah, it's a really iconic species from the Grampians, and I think part of the message of the Raising Rarity program is to get people out into the bush and appreciate these kind of rare and threatened species. So hopefully next time when everyone gets out to the Grampians, they might keep an eye out for this one through winter and early spring.
Fantastic. Yeah, they are. They're absolutely beautiful.
Cool.
Okay, so we'll be back in a fortnight.
Yep.
And who will we be speaking to?
So we've got Caitlin Gray, who's a horticulturalist down here at Cranbourne. She's going to be talking about another one of our Raising Rarity species and sort of focusing more on introducing things into cultivation and the joy that kind of gives us down here. So
That's going to be fantastic. So that's going to be super exciting, so make sure you join in.
Thanks.
See you next time.